Some people don't have their stroke during the day. They go to bed feeling completely normal. They kiss their spouse goodnight, they turn off the lamp, they pull the blanket up to their chin like they've done 1,000 times before. And they wake up already brain damaged. They just don't know it yet. Right now, while you're watching this video, somewhere in the world an older man or woman is getting out of bed thinking they slept wrong. Their arm feels heavy. Their mouth feels strange. The room looks a little tilted. And they're walking to the bathroom telling themselves it's nothing. It's just age. It's just a bad night. But it isn't. What they're feeling is the silent footprint of a mini stroke that happened while they were asleep. A warning shot from their own brain. And in 72 hours, if nothing is done, the real one is coming. You see, your blood pressure naturally drops between 15 and 20% while you sleep. That's normal. That's healthy. But if your arteries are already narrowed, even a little, that drop can be the difference between blood reaching your brain and blood stopping. Just for a few seconds. Just for a few minutes. Just long enough for a small piece of brain to go dark while you were dreaming. And when you wake up, that piece of you is different. If you're over 55 and you live alone, this video could be the most important thing you watch this week. So before we go any further, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel and turn the bell on. Because the next video I post might be the one that saves someone you love. A man clutching his chest, falling off a chair, slurring his words while his family screams. That happens. But that's the loud kind. That's the one that announces itself. The dangerous one. The one that's killing seniors quietly across this country. The one that turns into a major stroke 3 days later. That one whispers. It whispers in the morning. It whispers when you're still half asleep. It whispers when you're brushing your teeth and you drop the toothbrush and you laugh it off. Because here's the cruel trick your brain plays on you. When a small clot or a tiny spasm cuts off blood flow to a region of your brain during the night, the blood often returns by morning. The tissue is bruised, hurt, partially damaged, but the flow is back. So the symptom fades. You stretch. You shake your arm. You blink a few times. You say to yourself, I must have slept on it weird. And you go on with your day. That's the trap. That's the lie your own body tells you. Because the symptom going away does not mean the danger went away. It means you used up one of your warnings. And nobody gets unlimited warnings. The first sign is waking up with one arm completely numb. Not pins and needles for 30 seconds the way it happens when you sleep on your shoulder. I'm talking about an arm that feels dead, heavy, disconnected, like it belongs to somebody else. You try to lift it and there's a delay. You try to make a fist and your fingers don't fully respond. Most people blame the pillow. Most people blame the mattress. Most people roll the shoulder a few times and forget about it by breakfast. But here's what's actually happening in many of these cases. While you were sleeping, blood flowed to the part of your brain that controls that arm dropped below the survival line for a short time. The arm isn't broken. The wiring in your brain is. And if the same artery clogs again in the next 72 hours, this time the arm doesn't come back. The second sign is looking in the bathroom mirror and seeing that one side of your face looks slightly off. Maybe one corner of your mouth doesn't lift the same way when you try to smile. Maybe one eyelid sits a little lower. Maybe when you splash water on your face, one cheek feels less than the other. People in their 60s and 70s see this and assume it's a wrinkle. It's tiredness. It's just how their face looks now. But your face doesn't change overnight. Faces don't suddenly droop because you slept badly. A face that wasn't crooked yesterday and is crooked today is your brain telling you something is wrong on the opposite side of the skull. And the scariest part is that within an hour or two, that droop often softens, the face mostly returns to normal, and the person convinces themselves they imagined it. They didn't imagine it. The third sign is finding a wet patch of saliva on your pillow when you've never been a person who drools in your sleep. You wake up, you feel the cold dampness against your cheek, and you're confused because this isn't normal for you. Drooling during sleep, especially new drooling in older adults, can mean the muscles on one side of your mouth lost their tone for hours during the night. The lips couldn't seal. The tongue sat differently. The same nerves that control your speech control that seal. And when those nerves get hit even briefly by a drop in blood flow, the saliva escapes. People laugh about this. They blame the pillow position. They don't realize their face was paralyzed for part of the night. Before we go on, if any of this is hitting close to home, leave a single word in the comments. Just type morning. That's it. Just the word morning. It tells me you're paying attention. It tells the algorithm to push this video to other seniors who need to see it tonight before they go to bed. And if you can, hit the like button. That one tap shares this warning with thousands of people your age who have no idea their pillow has been hiding the truth. Not the normal grogginess. We all have that. I'm talking about a fog that feels different. You can't remember if today is Tuesday or Thursday. You walk into the kitchen and forget why you went there. You pick up the coffee cup and for a second you can't remember the word for it. You try to tell your husband or your wife about a dream and the sentence comes out scrambled. The words are in the wrong order. You catch yourself and start over and it sounds normal the second time. So you laugh it off. You say, I haven't had my coffee yet. But here's what nobody told you. A real lack of coffee doesn't scramble your sentences. It makes you slow. It doesn't put the words in the wrong order. When the language area of your brain has been deprived of blood during the night, your first attempts at speech in the morning are clumsy. By the time you've had breakfast and a cup of coffee, the brain has rerouted. The symptom is gone. And you've already explained it away. The fifth sign is dropping things within the first few minutes of waking up. The toothbrush slips. The cup tips over. You reach for the doorknob and your fingers don't close around it the way they should. Your grip is just a little weaker on one side, just a little less coordinated, and you tell yourself you were still half asleep. But your hands have done these movements 10,000 times. They don't suddenly forget how. When the part of your brain that controls fine motor coordination is recovering from a nighttime episode, your hands work, but they work badly. They feel slightly delayed, slightly clumsy, slightly not yours. And if you're someone who lives alone, this is the moment when you need to stop and pay attention, because there's nobody else in the house to notice it for you. The sixth sign is walking to the bathroom and feeling like the floor is tilted. You stand up. You take 3 or 4 steps, and you feel yourself drift slightly to one side. Maybe you bump the door frame. Maybe you steady yourself on the dresser. Maybe you sit back down on the edge of the bed for a minute waiting for it to pass. People over 60 blame this on dizziness, on low blood pressure when standing, on inner ear issues, on getting older. And sometimes that's exactly what it is. But sometimes it's the back part of your brain, the part that controls balance, telling you that for a few hours during the night, it didn't have enough blood. That part of the brain is fed by arteries that run up through the bones of your neck. They're some of the most vulnerable arteries in your entire body. And when they fail briefly during sleep, the morning walk to the bathroom is when the damage shows itself. The seventh sign is what I call the morning hangover. You wake up feeling like you drank last night, except you didn't. Your head feels thick. Your eyes feel heavy. There's a faint pressure behind one temple. You feel slightly nauseous. You feel slightly off. And you can't explain it because you went to bed early. You ate normally. You didn't have a single drop of alcohol. This sensation, especially when it's new, especially when it pairs with any of the other signs I just mentioned, can be the residue of a small bleed or a small clot that your brain is still cleaning up from the night before. People take an aspirin, drink water, lie back down, and the feeling fades by lunch. They never call a doctor, they never get checked, and they wake up 3 mornings later with a major stroke that takes their independence forever. Your brain has an incredible ability to reroute blood, to wake up sleepy regions, to compensate for damage in the short term. By M you might feel completely normal. By noon you might be laughing with a friend on the phone, telling them you had a weird morning but you're fine now. You're not fine. You're inside a window that doctors call the warning window. And that window stays open for about 72 hours. After that, the same artery that misbehaved last night is statistically very likely to fail completely. And when an artery fails completely, the brain tissue downstream doesn't get a second chance. It dies in 4 to 6 minutes. The arm that came back this morning won't come back next time. The face that straightened out won't straighten out next time. The words that rearrange themselves into proper sentences won't rearrange themselves next time. That's what a major stroke is. It's the silent warning you ignored, finishing what it started. By the afternoon, her hand feels fine. She doesn't call her daughter. She doesn't call her doctor. Why would she? The problem is gone. On Friday morning, the neighbor finds her on the bathroom floor. She's been there for hours. She survives, but she doesn't walk again without help. She doesn't live alone again. Her daughter has to fly in and pack up the apartment. And the whole tragedy started with a Tuesday morning that she dismissed as nothing. This story isn't rare. This story plays out tens of thousands of times a year in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia. It plays out in Brazil. It plays out everywhere. And the worst part is, in almost every case, the warning was there. The warning was clear. The warning came in the morning, and nobody recognized it. If you have high blood pressure, you're at higher risk, especially if you take your blood pressure medication at night, because the medication can drop your pressure even further during sleep. If you have type 2 diabetes or even prediabetes, you're at higher risk, because high blood sugar damages the lining of your blood vessels in ways you can't feel. If you snore loudly or stop breathing during the night, you may have sleep apnea. And sleep apnea is one of the most powerful triggers of nighttime strokes that exists. Every time you stop breathing, your oxygen drops, your heart strains, and your blood becomes more likely to clot. If you smoke or you used to smoke, the inside of your arteries is rougher than it should be, and clots find places to stick. If you're over 60, your blood vessels have been aging quietly for decades. If you live alone, you don't have anyone to notice the droop in your face or the slur in your morning speech. If your circulation in your hands and feet is bad, if your fingers go cold easily, if your toes feel numb at night, your brain circulation may be in similar trouble. And if more than one of these applies to you, please don't scroll past this video. Please don't tell yourself it can't happen to you. Please don't be the person on the bathroom floor on Friday. If one corner of your mouth lags, that matters. Say one full sentence out loud, something like "Today is a good day to be alive," and listen to your own voice. If the words are slurred or out of order, that matters. These 3 checks take less than a minute. They could save your life. They could save your independence. They could save your family from a phone call they will never forget. That means you're paying attention. That means part of you already knew something was wrong and was waiting for someone to say it out loud. Drop a comment below telling me your age and whether you've ever woken up feeling one of these signs. Read the other comments too, because you're not alone, and you'll see how many people just like you have lived through these mornings without realizing what they were. Hit the like button so YouTube shows this to more seniors before they go to sleep tonight. And the video appearing on your screen right now is the next one you need to watch. It covers the 7 common pills your doctor may be prescribing that quietly raise your stroke risk overnight, and what to ask before you take another dose. Don't close this app yet. Click that video, because your brain rarely stays completely silent before a major stroke. The tragedy is that most people explain away the warning signs simply because they happened after waking up. Don't be one of them. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, pay attention. Your life may depend on the first 60 seconds of your day.